Hello everyone, Steve Blair 2010 here with Season 2, Episode 2 of Tea Time with Steve. This episode's featured tea is going to be white violet tea. It's a peony tea, and it's actually pretty interesting. A peony is a type of flower, and what makes it interesting is that it's considered a white tea, but yet it's made with peony, which would lead you to believe that it's an herbal tea. So I don't know, is it white tea, is it an herbal tea? Do they use tea leaves and just add peony in it, or is it made primarily from peony, which would make it a herbal tea? I don't know. But it does taste really good regardless. I was actually surprised at how good this tea was. Usually teas with names like, usually things that have violet in it or names like white violet, those kind of teas I generally don't really care for much. But this I actually do really like. I don't know, maybe it's because it's a locally sourced thing and it's not, a commercially made product. Maybe that affects it. But the Brighton Tea Company's description of the tea is white peony tea with violet leaves and a touch of lavender for this delicate tea. So, again, I'm not sure if it's herbal or if it's white tea, but I guess they say it's white, so I'm going to guess it's white tea. So, this episode is pretty much just going to be about channels and video making in general. I was thinking about this because the other day I was talking to a friend of mine who also has a YouTube channel. I was going to help him out because he's even smaller than I am in terms of subscriber numbers. I was going to lend him some old equipment of mine, including my old flip camera. A lot of you will remember this is the old camera I used back before I got this thing. And I have an extra tripod I'm going to lend him because right now he's just using a cell phone camera and no other equipment really, so I think it'll really help him out. It'll go a long way to make his channel better if he had that equipment, because he has a great thing going. It's just like the same problem I had before I got this good camera. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I only had that standard def camera while it was holding me back a bit. But if you're just using a cell phone camera, then your challenge is to get recognized or even greater. So I thought I'd lend him that stuff, help him out a bit. Gave him a little bit of advice on video making. Trent Badgerow is his channel name. I'll put a link in the description. You can check him out and subscribe to him. Because again, the videos he has, they're good videos. It's great ideas, has a lot of potential. It's just, again, the problem comes with not having enough equipment. Because you can have amazing ideas up here, you can have a masterpiece in here, but if you don't have the equipment to get it done, you're not going to end up with the kind of vision you have in your head. He's mainly doing gaming stuff, which I told him is a very, very popular subject online. I mean, look at PewDiePie. He's the biggest YouTuber right now there is, and he's all video games, so that's definitely got a lot of potential in it. So again, check him out. As for me, video games obviously have been a big theme on my channel, but not necessarily as a main thing. I wouldn't call it like a theme even, because the video games that I've included on my channel are just two different video games for the most part. It's been Guitar Hero mainly, and some stuff from GTA 4, the Battle of Gay Tony, because I used to play that all the time too. About the time I got GTA 5, I really wasn't filming much in the way of video games anymore. I was more into this, and I think the main time when I had GTA 5 was within my 6-month break anyway, so, after I had beaten the game anyway. Besides, I'm not much of a gamer, so I'll leave the gaming stuff to the gamers. I just used video game stuff mainly as a filler, like Guitar Hero, when I didn't have anything to put on my channel at the time in terms of something big like my Tea Time, which is my main thing. I would just put up a section FC or whatever just as filler to hold people over until my next big video. But now my TV is broken and the controller I have is broken. I do have another TV down in my garage, but it's heavy, and the TV I have up here is heavy, so I don't really feel like moving, and it's just laziness on my part at this point. But I do need to get it up here because I need to get some filler videos in too. But video making, it's a pretty interesting subject. I remember talking to Trent when I was hanging out with him for a little while. We were talking about our editing process, and he uses an app on a tablet mainly to edit his videos, so it's very basic. It's pretty pre-programmed. You would expect that with any Apple product, for it to be pretty just, everything's already done for you and you only have a few things you gotta do. It was a video editing program that had a bunch of preset templates that you had to follow, and you just put your video in there and then it follows that template. Either that or he'll just do basic cuts at the time, but again, that's because of his lack of equipment. Once I'm doing this stuff, he might, you know, use, I don't know what he'd probably use, like Windows Movie Maker or something on the computer. You know, me personally, I have Sony Vegas Pro 11. So I use that, but, you know, not everybody's got that kind of editing equipment. And even myself, I have a good program like that, but I haven't really used it to its full potential. The thing that I've done that's most, that, how should I word this? The thing that I've done that's brought out the most potential that I have for my video editing program was probably the Intervention, my biggest project I've done, because that had the split screen in it. And it had a couple of other visual effects that were pretty interesting, like on that cutaway scene, you know, the cutaway gag. That had a kind of dream effect going on in that it wasn't like a preset kind of thing, like you click, you know, dream lighting effect on the thing. It's not one of those pre-made effects. I actually had to make that effect from scratch. So in addition to the split screen, we had a homemade effect, and that was pretty nice. That is really using that program to, not its full potential, but more of its potential than I would be using it for a video like this. If that makes any sense. I know my wording must be pretty incomprehensible and stupid, but I think most of you understand what I'm trying to say. A talk show like this is pretty simplistic, so there's not much editing needed, but I still like to do my best to make it presentable, like adding background music, which you're hearing right now, and you know, cuts here and there for the pauses, doing little fades and transitions if it's a long enough pause or a change of subject. And even just those cuts and fade in and outs and the background music and the text messages that sometimes you'll see on the bottom of the screen every now and then. Even those just text bubbles and all that little stuff that's done on a video like this, people who don't edit videos, they don't realize everything that goes into it. Even a simple little video like this, it takes a long time to edit. It's actually pretty complicated because not a lot of you would know, but even just with the background music you're hearing right now in the background, I actually, for the beginning and end of each song that you're hearing, I actually will time it so that what I'm saying and when the song starts or ends, it matches up, so it'll actually sound really nice and it'll actually have some appeal to it. You think I just kind of place them in there willy-nilly, but no, I'm actually listening to what I'm saying and when I'm saying it, and timing the starts and ends of the songs perfectly with small pauses in my sentences, or maybe at the end of a sentence when I'm starting a new sentence, then the song will start. I'll actually play around with that and have the fade-ins and outs for the songs go along with that. So even just starting up a new background song, it takes a few minutes of tweaking and stuff for me to actually get that right. Just something like that, you know, and the fade-ins and outs for cuts where I can't think of anything to say and I'll be sitting here for a little bit. That kind of stuff, I'll play around with it for a little bit. I'll increase the length of the fade, or I'll shorten it and I'll move it here and there, and I'll do all this stuff. I could play back that same 5 seconds of footage over and over again for probably a good, sometimes 5 minutes to 10 minutes before I get it to where I want it to be, just to move on to the next bit. And even the text that you'll see on the screen, like for the name of the featured tea, I actually time that. I put it just right at the right moment after I say the name of the tea. I find the right kind of effect that would go along with it, you know, for the text. I time out how long the text should be on the screen in terms of, you know, how many seconds or milliseconds or whatever, and I have the perfect kind of fade out that looks nice and appealing to the eye and goes along with my speech patterns as well. So a lot more than you realize goes into even a video that's this simple. And I know a lot of you guys out there probably have your own channels, you're content creators too, I'm sure you understand, but you know, some of these people, you know, just enjoy watching videos, they may not fully understand, so I like to tell people about this stuff. My skit, The Intervention, took me a very long time to do. Not including writing the script, which took a few days in and of itself to go through each draft of it and work it until I was happy with it completely. Not including that, not including the writing. It took me 3 days from start to finish, because I would do filming of a certain section of it. I actually had the script broken up into 3 sections. I filmed the first section for the first day, and then I edited that part up. Okay, I had that first section all up and edited in the editor, and I saved it. And then that was it for the day. I went back in the second day, filmed the second section, edited the second section. Then on the third day, I did the same thing. And then after I had gotten that last part on there, I went back through the whole thing and did any last tweaks and changes and stuff that I needed to do. I polished off all the rough edges and did all that, and added in all the final effects and things. So that kind of stuff, even though it was just like a 4-minute video, I don't know exactly how long it was. Here, let me check. Let's go see. It shouldn't be that hard. YouTube stuff. Where the hell did it go? Hold on just 1 second. That's the updates video for it. Here we are. It's 3 minutes 56 seconds, so yeah, 4 minutes. A 4-minute video took 3 days from start to finish. And you may be thinking, well, you're only doing, let's say you're splitting 4 minutes into 3 sections, that's just over a minute each day. And it doesn't sound like you're working for very long. You could probably do a lot more. Well, even just filming a minute of that skit took a long, long time, because you don't realize how many takes each of those shots took for me to get right. Because even though at the end of it, sure, the acting didn't turn out very good, I'll admit that. That's the downfall of that skit, is that the acting isn't very good. There were worse versions of every single one of those shots on that skit. You may think, oh, that's pretty terrible, he can barely act. Well, there's worse versions of those shots that existed than the ones you see in the final product. Each one of those shots took like 7 tries, and those were just the best that I could get. So it took a little bit longer than you think just to film those little bits. Like, it would take maybe, I wouldn't say like hours upon hours. It's not like I was filming for 6 hours, but it would take maybe an hour or 2, depending on how difficult the shots were to film, to get it all done, especially if there was a split screen shot, because I would have to play around with that, and that's actually a part that I did during the filming, because I had to make sure that I got the timing right for one line to the other, from one Steve to the other, because you wouldn't want the speech to overlap. You had to make it flow naturally. So that would actually take a while. It would take some tweaking while I was filming to get that right. A lot really goes into this. So after the filming, an hour or 2 of filming, I'll go in and edit. And I had never done anything with as many cuts and changes, and even the split screen and the effects and this and that. I had never done anything just like that. I wouldn't say like difficult, because doing the cuts and everything in and of itself isn't difficult. It's time consuming, it's not difficult. I had never had a project that busy, I guess you could say, in terms of how much was going on in the editor. When you look down there at the bottom where you can see all your clips and everything, and you can change the times or whatever, there was nothing that looked that busy and complicated with all this stuff here and there. So, that is very time consuming. So it would be an hour to 2 hours of filming, and then a couple hours of just working on a minute of film. So that's a good 4 hours every day I spent working on it, and I know I could spend more time and get it done faster, but I have other things I wanted or needed to do, because I do have a life other than this. Although this is one of the best parts of my life, because I really enjoy doing this, it's a great hobby. I'm not saying this isn't important to me, I'm just saying there's other things in my life. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is, just because you see a video that's pretty simplistic looking, there's not that much to it. It's not like a crazy Freddie W. or Mystery Guitar Man, just crazy editing kind of thing. Just because you see something simple like this doesn't mean the person was lazy and didn't want to do anything complicated, just didn't put any work into it. No, even something simple like this, I guarantee the person who filmed it put a lot of work into it. even the simplest videos take a while to edit. Like the last episode of Tea Time with Steve. I started editing that. When was it? I cannot remember when it was that I did it, but I think it was the Tuesday before that I had filmed it, and then later, a couple days later, I had edited it. Actually, I'm just now realizing I have no idea when I actually filmed it or edited it anymore, but the point is, whatever day I had ended up editing it, I started at about midnight, and by the time I was done and was getting ready to have it rendered, it was between 2 and 2:30 a.m. So it was 2.5 hours of editing for that 20-minute video. And that's not including the 3 or so hours more that it took just to render it out because it was 720p and was 20 minutes long. So, total editing and rendering time, 2 hours, let's just say 2 hours just to make it easier, plus 3 hours. There you go, that's 5 hours that it took with the editor open on my computer just to get that done. So there's, you know, there's a lot more behind the video making process than some people realize. So I'm repeating myself at this point, but hell, it's my show. Slightly off topic, but not completely off the video making topic. I got another Rubik's Cube, an actual Rubik's brand Rubik's Cube. And as you can see, I've managed to solve this one too, multiple times. In fact, I have all the algorithms memorized now, so I can actually solve these all by myself every time. So soon, hopefully you'll be seeing a video of me solving one of these, and maybe a tutorial if I get really good at it, and can actually explain how everything works. But there's so many different tutorials for Rubik's Cubes online right now, I don't even know if it's really worth it, but I'll do the video of me solving it, and if you guys want to see it, I'll try to make a tutorial about it. So there's that. So that'd be pretty interesting. I enjoy doing tutorial videos. I think my favorite tutorial video was a request I actually got from the Shining One. I had done a section FC on Guitar Hero. It was Nemesis Solo 1. And I said in the description, if anyone wants to know how I did this, if you want to know my method, just let me know in the comments and I'll do a tutorial for it. And sure enough, he commented saying, "Can you make me a tutorial? I'd like to know how you did it." So I did, and you can find it on my channel. It says in big letters, request as the first word. It says Nemesis Solo 1 FC tutorial. That video was really fun for me to make, and especially to edit, because I love editing. And I'm actually proud of the editing I did on that video. It was pretty complicated. Check that out, it's actually pretty cool. If not because you enjoy Guitar Hero, because even if you don't really enjoy Guitar Hero, just for the sake of seeing some good editing in a video, check it out, it's pretty good. And I think I did a good job on that one, I was really proud of it. Now, other tutorials I've done. Since it was so long ago, it was fairly early work that I had done. If I were to remake it now, obviously I could do better. But for how inexperienced I was at the time, my How to 5-Star Through the Fire and Flames on Expert on Guitar Hero tutorial was actually pretty good for my current skill level at the time. Again, now I know I can do it a lot better than I did back then, but still, it's pretty good for me at the time. I was proud of that one too, and it's actually got quite a bit of views. I think it has 650 at the time of filming this. 650 views is a lot for my channel. The most recent kind of tutorial, I guess you could say, that I've done was my For an Idiot by an Idiot, the first episode of that series, which was filming tips, so another kind of video making kind of thing. Watch that if you're into video making as a hobby yourself and you're a beginner. That would be a good video for you. It's pretty good filming tips, you know, for beginners that are, it's kind of presented in a humorous way, so I think you'd like it. Editing wise, it's pretty simple. A lot like this. It's a little bit more busy, but it's not, you know, difficult like the intervention or that one request tutorial I had done, which I'm very proud of. Actually, let's go on to Trent Badrow's channel right now. Wait, what is this? Yeah, that's something I should probably do. Get some channel art. I do actually have a banner that a friend of mine you've actually seen on my channel, LRT Pumpkin Smasher. He was on my Brony discussion / interview video, the two-parter. He actually drew me up a banner that I can put on the top of my channel. I just haven't gotten a chance to scan it and get it on the computer yet. So, how did I end up on the S02E02 channel? So hopefully I'll be able to get that up soon. And that banner actually has the new name for my channel. I'm actually planning on renaming my channel whenever I end up getting that channel art up one day, possibly. We'll see. Yeah, he doesn't have much out in the way of videos. Looks like his oldest video was posted a year ago. So he started about a year after me then. This is just about it. Again, he's still in the beginning stages. He doesn't upload that often right now because of the fact that he only has that... Oh, this tea is making my throat kind of dry, so there's a downside to the tea. Anyway, since he just has that cell phone camera and not much in the way of an editor, he doesn't really do much with his channel at the moment. So, you know, right now it's kind of dodgy the way he'll upload, but still it's worth it. The videos that he has, there's a lot of potential in them, so, you know, watch him, give him a chance. He's a good guy. I'm sure once I give him this equipment, his uploading will become more consistent, as mine will hopefully become as time goes on. I'm definitely going to need faster internet if I'm going to be uploading a lot of long videos with this HD camera. It's the last one was a pain to upload. The first episode of this season took me, it actually took me multiple tries to actually get it up successfully. The first try, it was uploading for 36 hours and then failed. And then the second time, I tried actually downstairs on my mom's computer. It was uploading for about the same amount of time, but ended up actually successfully uploading. So, it took me about 72 hours total to get that thing up. So hopefully this one will be a little bit easier. Well, that's just about all I have to say about this, so this has been Steve Blair 2010, and I'll see you next time.